Dear One Lap Heroes, it feels good to be back. If you follow the channel, you know that I have a 1991 Mariner Blue MX-5, which I am in the process of K20. The project has been on hold for more or less 1 year now, and the car has been inside this garage for unfortunately more than 1 year. I'm really pumped to get it done. I really want to get the project going, but before that I'm going to show you what the car is looking like right now. The MX-5 came. What you see here is more or less what you need to put together an MX-5. And what you see here you should not consider me an example for anything, but maybe you should consider me as an example of how not to K20 swap your MX-5. I have started 25 jobs at the same time. So far I haven't finished any single one of them, but I'm sure that I will be step by step slowly putting the car together. We want to show you what we do in the video, the real deal, goods and bads. Hopefully at some point in this year there is going to be a K20 sticking out of this engine bay, and I can tell you one thing, I cannot wait up until that happens.
Nürburgring scene, for that matter, is taking itself so seriously, and we don't like that.
You can take whatever the fuck you have,
Take it
and go out and drive it.
So here we are again, and despite you thinking that everything is a continuum and everything happens before and after and this and that, the intro you have just seen was literally a year ago. When I did that intro, I thought that everything was aligned for the swap to happen, and apparently it wasn't. So here we are again. But before that, I want to backtrack a little bit more to the 5 years that the SX5 and me have been together. A car with which I've done countless laps at the Nürburgring, with which I have won many things, not trophies, but lots of cool experiences and friends, and lots of experience also in workshop life and stuff, which I'm still getting, by the way, but also a lot of failing and a lot of misery and a lot of pain and a bigger or smaller crash at the ring. So I crashed.
Straight to the point.
I didn't crash, the car crashed. There was oil and the tires were old and the brakes were not okay. I didn't do anything wrong, everything was correct. No. History. The stuff that makes you bond with the cars, and the reason why I still keep this car to this day, and I want to keep on building the KMiata swap on this very chassis. Many people ask me, why don't you get a fresher chassis, etc. And I always, not joking, say that a 30-year-old MX-5 chassis is a consumable. Before I start, remember that this is the second installment in our KMiata build series, the first one being the unboxing video that happened in this very room quite some time ago, in which we show all the beautiful shiny parts from KMiata. And a little bit after, some months after, I remember very well because it was the last time I drove the SX5 under its own power. I brought the car here to the workshop. I don't even remember how the key looks like. Huh? Look, if it does start, this car. He's alive. Huh? Everything looks where it has to be here. Actually, it sounds very good.
It does.
I brought the car here to the workshop. Andrea was waiting, like ready to go. And we took that engine down in literally no time, you know, as Italians do.
Okay, this is on. Up.
We did it.
Yeah, we did.
No, you did it. I don't know if you did it.
I mean, it was not that.
It's actually done now.
Unfortunately, it's not the first time.
It's not the first time, and it is going to be the last, at least with the 1.6 engine.
Probably.
The 1.6 engine, yes. And it was a cool day because it made me remember the days of the Ring Banana. The day that we took the engine down, and the day we took a couple of pictures inside of the engine bay because that engine was down and preparing the car for the Ascari race, for which the movie is going to come in a century or another. Back to where I was talking, engine down, gearbox down. With the car on the lift, there is only one thing we can keep on doing, which is preparing the car for the rest of the swap. In order to merge the MX-5 wiring with the KMiata swap wiring, you have to pull the dashboard out.
Do you have to pull it out, Sergio?
You have to pull it out. You have to pull it out. You don't have to take it out fully like I did, but you have to pull it out. I took it out fully. And unfortunately for me, I want to say, because I guarantee you that you can simplify your life and do this swap literally in a weekend. It is that easy. I decided to take the full wiring loom out of the car. And this brings a lot of work and a lot of complication to everything. But again, I have my idea on how I want this car to run. And I want this wiring to be as simplified and as uncomplicated and as simple as possible. But of course, before that happens, you really have to put some hours, some work and research as well, because I'm not an expert in the matter. With everything that could be done to the chassis, up until this point, we decided to roll the car out of the workshop and start doing some real work into the parts that matter, namely the engine. The engine is a K20, as you probably know, not a K24. This engine was readily available in the workshop. It was from a very good friend of mine, so it would be a sin not to get this engine from him. I knew the history of the engine. I have driven this car. It was a CRX, for that matter, with that engine, so I knew the engine was fresh and it would pull and everything. So
So you put it straight in the car?
I didn't. In the beginning, I was going to do this because this is what you do. When you know that the engine is fresh and healthy, you drop it in the car, you do like this, and you drive it. But I didn't. I took the engine and I bolted it into the engine stand, and I started to bolt the KMiata parts, starting from the bottom with the sump, which is specific to the kit, and you have seen already in the unboxing video. It has this very particular shape for a reason. It has quite some volume, which is cool, and it's baffled already, so in a place like the Nürburgring, I believe it's going to help. Remember that the engine now is going to sit in a longitudinal way and not transverse as it was before. Water neck, oil pump, this, that, you're going to see different parts of the engine being assembled. And at some point, everything was together and was ready to go. And then something happened.
What happened, Sergio?
Everyone was telling me that I should have done a K24 and that K24 and good power and a little bit more torque and this and that. So I seriously thought that double the power, which is what the K20 engine is going to offer anyway, was not going to be enough. And a good friend from Portugal told me, I have what you need. You are clearly asking for cams. I'm going in another route with my build. You need my cams. I'm sending them to you now. We talk money after, and this is what he did. So before I even considered this to be a good idea, the head was already out, and I got myself ready to drop the cams. And of course, being high performance cams, you need a double spring and you need new retainers. And when the head is out, you want to make sure that everything is nice and tight, so you send it out for a little bit of porting. And again, that's another grand on top, or even more. And the head going to Spain to be worked on, and the head coming back. Thanks PMH for the job, by the way, which is very, very cool. And yes, after that, you put everything new, and everything means everything: chain, tensioner, head gasket. So this is why, whenever someone tells you change the cams, it's going to make a big difference, think about it. Maybe that person is not your friend. Joao, maybe you're not my friend. No, I'm joking, but not joking. When you are doing this kind of change into an engine, which is already ready and closed, you are basically dropping a stupid amount of money on top that you maybe could, save and spend in a different way. Anyway, wrapping it up, the day comes, the day in which the engine is ready, and the steering rack is ready, and the gearbox is ready, and the subframe is ready. And the subframe is something we haven't discussed, but it's a key part for the swap, as it sort of vertebrates the MX-5 parts with the Honda parts. You're going to see that in the video. It's actually a very cool part. But again, that day comes, the day in which you merge everything finally, and all these beautiful items are one single unit that you just want to bolt on in the car. In the process though, you are thinking about the good days that you had. Actually, the good day is the day that everything is together. But before that, there has been some misery and some pain and phone calls and research and emails back and forth. Sorry, David. And you wanting to just drop everything down the drain and walk home, and me thinking that I cannot perform this swap alone and that I'm going to need multiple help. But actually, with help, everything happens, everything is ready, and the only thing you want to do when you look at this part is to relax and look at them and chill. But then you think twice and you look at your car there in the background of the workshop, and you look at the track we actually have 300 meters away from here, and you don't want to relax so much. You want to put everything in the car, crank it on, fill it with petrol, and just go for a drive. So this has to happen soon. Me cago en tu puta madre, me cago en Dios.